Hey, good evening, Hell Rats. Welcome to Metal Mayhem ROC. I'm your host, Southern Cal. I'm joined tonight by my wingman in all things metal, Bill the Rager. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And tonight we got a special guest, the guitarist from a Tampa band, Blood of Angels. I'd like to please all welcome Aaron Robinson to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, appreciate it. How's everything going tonight with everything?
No, I can't complain. It's
I
a good
take it
Friday.
you are over in the Tampa area. Is that correct?
I am. Very
Awesome.
much so.
Bill the Rager spent a lot of time with a lot of bands and his bands over in Tampa. So he'll be joining us kind of a little bit more later on in the show. So
Awesome.
You guys have been together since 2015. That's 8 years, I guess. Why don't
Yes, it
you
is.
just give us a brief little synapse for anybody who might not know of you guys, heard of you guys? Just give us a quick little up to date up to 2023 here, 2024. Sorry.
Okay, well, I'll do my best blow by blow of everything. We released our first EP, Rise of the Fallen Gods, in 2017. The first single, Odin's Wrath, did pretty well. With that, we won the International Music Entertainment Award for Metal Band of the Year, and we also won the Independent Music Award in New York City for Best Heavy Metal Hardcore Song for our debut single, Odin's Wrath. With that, we did some shows, and then we moved on. We got signed to Slip Trick Records. Then we released our second album, 2020, The Failure of Faith. With that, we toured around the U.S. with bands like Convalescence and Reflections of Flesh, which was really awesome. And then the most recent thing is released a single about a year ago, Spillage, which also has done pretty well through the internet streaming services, everything. And the recent thing was we won the Hollywood Music Award this year for Best Heavy Metal Song for Spillage. So pretty
That's
good
awesome.
so far. And right now we're currently working on our new album and a couple other projects, and things are good.
All right. Well, we're going to definitely get into that new album. Are you guys still, was that single released on Slip Trick Records?
No, actually, I didn't really go into it. We signed with a new label, Biohazardous Records.
All right. How's everything going with them? They treating you all right?
So far, so good.
Awesome. Hey, well, let's get right into this Failure of Faith album. Some people have called it a concept album. Would you consider it to be a concept album of some sorts?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that was the intention of the album. Yeah. I mean, the first half, basically I just mainly focus on the three monotheistic religions, that dominate the world, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, historically how they came to be. And that's the first half of the album. The second half of the album is mainly the manipulation and atrocities that they've committed through basically having us fighting over who's the one real true God. And the violence is ensued through that. And so, we have a song about the Crusades, one song called The Disaster of Supremacy, which basically shows that a nationalist supremic idea, whether it's a dominant religion or a dominant ethnicity or a dominant cultural identity, is not really a good thing for a balanced society. And, we finished the album out with a song, America's Mythologies, which really I pick on the three kind of main religions that were created right here, homegrown in the United States, with Scientology, Jehovah's Witness, and Mormonism.
Right. Well, definitely. You talked about the monotheism, right, from the little intro that it has, and Randy Rice, your vocalist, that just this monotheism, the way he starts that song out, you know what you're in for right from the very beginning with this band. So talk a little bit about monotheism.
Well, the song itself basically is just the kind of the beginning song of the album. How the because of course through ancient history, most religions were polytheistic. So this was kind of the burgeoning idea of monotheism in the guise of Zoroastrianism. That's the lyrical content of it. Musically, just wanted a hard, heavy hitting song that kind of just blended our influences together right out the gate. I feel there's some groove kind of Pantera moments, especially like within the chorus. Some black metal like speed shred picking in there through the verses. That just mix up the tempo and keep things moving right off the bat.
Yeah, the guitar playing in this is incredible, and it's very there's a lot of things kind of thrown in on top of stuff, guitar workings in there, and I found it very interesting in these songs. Another
Thank you.
song I really liked was the 40-year journey. Now,
Yes.
sometimes it's a little hard to understand the lyrics and to this song, but I was picking some things out. Tell us what that song's about.
The Exodus, the story of the Exodus, and that one is the beginning story of Judaism. Yeah, I kind of pick apart that, and then there's kind of a verse in there where I sew in some doubts that it actually even really happened to the degree that the Old Testament depicts it. There and again, musically going for a different approach. Using a melody line as the main hook in the chorus in the song, as opposed to monotheism being so heavy, so heavy and groove and and black metal oriented. Monotheism I always kind of saw as a little more of a Gothic, like that melodic death metal, like Gothenburg, style sound, which
All
I
right.
really love a lot of those bands.
It's it's a lot to take in with all this religious aspect to it. Are you yourself have any kind of faith or religion that you follow, or
I don't. I'm an atheist.
so this is just it's pure like reading history and kind of interpreting your giving it your interpretation, let's say.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a
it
heavy
is.
subject
I
right
mean,
now.
yeah, the lyrical content I mean, is pure research and history. Mostly, I use a lot of the writing and study a lot of Richard Carrier in some of his books. The Columbia professor of theology. He has a
Right.
PhD in ancient history, and he gives an incredible, interesting perspective of religion that is that's just completely looks at it through a historical lens as a historian. What is found through archaeology, what is actually can be proven, what's been over exaggerated, and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Kind of, yeah, breaks that up a bit.
I watch a lot of History Channel stuff myself, and a lot of new things are coming out that are really questioning uh, the beliefs from before and what is written and what they tell us had really happened. There's a lot of new facts coming out, so this album kind of falls right into a lot of the shit that's going on in this world right now between everybody, and it's very sad situation. To me, war right now, it seems like it's obsolete, like there's no room for any war now. So this album kind of falls right into that. So
Yeah, I mean, we're just way too interconnected. I mean, as a global community now.
that's right.
I mean, it wasn't. This technology is amazing, and it came upon us quick, and AI is going to come upon us faster. But it wasn't all that long ago that whatever war was happening in the Middle East and Africa wasn't reported in our papers until days later, or even weeks later after the event happened, and now everything's instantaneous. So with information traveling faster, you like to think we'd be able to come together more on a
AI right
human
now
level.
is it's a hot topic in the music industry. What are your thoughts about AI and maybe how it's going to affect the industry, the music industry, let's say?
Um, I haven't used AI myself. I don't really have a completely formulated opinion, I would say, on it, because I haven't experienced using AI for anything yet. Musically, I know in in the pop music world, I mean, I think it's just always, it's going to really depend on what the audience wants in general. I mean, are they okay with someone going, hey, give me let's do a, I mean, I actually saw a video recently of, yeah, let's have an Eminem song with him rapping about cats, you know. And so, and I mean, the whole song is written, like if Eminem like wrote a rap song about cats, and it's pretty convincing. So it's just a matter of if, I think it's more upon the people. Do they still want authentic artists, or are they okay with just a robot just throwing out something simple and easy, or satisfied in that way.
Right.
I mean, since music has in pop music especially has really gone down in the road of simplicity. I just kind of wonder if just everybody just wants a good 4/4 beat just to nod your head to, and
I think
and
it's
zone out.
maybe something to do with the attention span of the younger kids now. And when I say younger, 14, 15, 16, in that range, you got to hit and go with these kids. Their attention span is no longer than a minute sometimes. So, well, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
10 seconds on average. You got to hook them in 10 seconds.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, that AI stuff. I mean, that's like if you're, you're on the Enterprise and you walk into the holodeck and you just say, "Strike me up some Rush," or whoever. And I don't know about that right now.
Well, we
I
almost
think,
kind of have that already with Alexa. I mean, you can go, hey Alexa, play me, Tom
yep.
Sawyer, and she'll start playing Tom Sawyer. I mean, we got that already, but that's fine. I mean, that's created music by great artists, and that have existed. But in the future, I mean, I'm having really no artists for new music, and it's all computer generated. It's just a matter. I think it's really, unfortunately, it comes down to the consumer. If they're fine with it, then it's a cheap way to keep producing content. If they're not fine with it, then we'll keep on having artists.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully.
like 50 years from now, somebody new ever never got to see Rush, let's say again.
Hmm.
You had to go back to, let's say, the YouTube of 50 years from now and watch videos of them, or you could go down to your local mall and they got some store in there where you can walk in and say, hey, play some Rush in there, and you get the like the Ronnie James Dio holographic type of thing, and Kiss is working on this stuff.
Hmm.
I guess that you have to go with the technology of the day, and who knows what it'll be like in the future. But I prefer the band myself to the real band as to a video or anything like that. That's just fluffy to me.
Oh, and I'm old school in that way, and yeah, I do too. I mean, I know they're having a big show in London right now with with a holographic Elvis. That seems to be doing well, and I mean, yeah, that could kind of really be the beginning of things, I guess.
Right. Well, Bill,
In that
what's your
approach.
thoughts on the video part? Video, or would you want the holographic?
No, I want the real thing.
Right.
It's I don't know. I mean, all this technology, like it's good for somebody, but not me.
Bill, you got to see Elvis Presley.
Yeah, I saw the real Elvis. So
That's awesome. Good, good,
Yeah,
good.
that is incredible. That's all.
Aaron,
That's,
Aaron, what's your favorite song on this album? Every night you
uh,
could play this every night, all the time.
oh, Blood of the Lamb.
Tell us about that
and
one.
we do, and because the crowd reaction is just insane. I mean, everyone's up, everyone's moving. It's a big club size mosh pit when we throw that song down. So the
Awesome.
energy's just right. It's usually our third or fourth song in the set.
There you go. Is it just something you like the guitar work of it all too, that it's involved, or just the general sound of the band performing at this level where you're just everything's falling into place and it just makes you want to fucking jam?
A little bit of both. I mean, it's a heavy song. It's not it's not that complicated. It's just really a speedy barn burner in a lot of ways. And just I mean, when the crowd gets moving, I get moving too. And I have fun stomping around on stage and everything, and I can really interact with people on while playing that song.
Well, that's awesome. Well, you mentioned real quick a little earlier, you got the new single Spillage.
Mhm.
What else is in the works? And when we might be able to hear some new stuff, like an album coming out, let's say.
An album, I'm looking to have it out by the fall. We got the title Leon to Thantano. The translation is The Fear of Death. I kind of grabbed a little bit, French, German, the Scandinavian, of OV, and then Thantano is Greek for death. I guess I took artistic license. I
There you
just
go.
like the way it rolled off the tongue when I kind of like wrote it down and put it together, because I thought The Fear of Death was a little too kind of plain. But I'm looking for it to be out in September. We're about halfway done with the recording process now. It's just really kind of what's holding it up a little bit right now. Is getting the studio scheduled. And we're looking to do a fall tour also in the mostly in the Midwest area, to get back to those amazing folks up there that
Uh,
have been so supportive of us.
awesome. What studio are you guys recording at?
Modern Audio Works here in Tampa with
Okay.
Preston DiCarlo.
Awesome. Have you worked with him before?
Yeah, he's the one who did the Failure of Faith and Spillage and our Sabbath Bloody Sabbath single that's out.
Awesome. Cool. All right. We're going to let Bill kind of step in here a little bit. Your influences, like I said, Nasty Savage. We just got to see Nasty Savage and meet Nasty Ronnie. We did a little interview with him. Great guy. Bill has worked with Cannibal Corpse,
Okay.
up and down here in Tampa, knows everybody in the band, Paul and everybody. So, Bill, let's get into that. Questions for Aaron.
Well, as I lived in Tampa, but it's been quite a while since I lived there. I was there from 93 to 2003.
Oh, okay. Really the peak times. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And, as I knew all the metal heads back then and still hang out and talk to some of them. Do you know Robin Mason?
Robin Mason?
Robin from, she's in Castrator and she's in a bunch of bands. She's a merch girl and tour manager. She's all around.
I can't say I know her. I think I'm sure I've met her, but I can't say I know her.
All right, she's from Tampa, and then I know Ben from Nasty Savage. Obviously, he's not in the band anymore, but and I know Jim, the drummer, their current drummer, Jim Coker, and Ed Webb. I don't know if you know Ed from.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Ben's doing like a one-man acoustic thing now.
Yeah.
And sometimes he has a band with him, and I mean it's great, especially when he does some of the Nasty Savage songs on acoustic guitar, or even some of the Gardy Lou ones. The band.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to be in a band with Richard Bateman for a little while too. Actually, the old bass.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah,
rest in peace. He was a good dude.
Yeah, he was wonderful.
So what's the Tampa scene like nowadays?
Mostly the younger generation that's really coming in. I would say like the early 20 somethings that are having their bands. It's different sound. A lot of them are extremely influenced by the 90s Norwegian black metal.
Okay.
Bands like Othelon, Skin Viking. So they even take some of the European names. So yeah, you see the younger kids usually doing like a lot of the corpse paint and doing a lot of that.
Really?
Yeah. And before that, I mean, of course, when the millennials were really in the scene, they were copying, what was going on in California with the deathcore stuff. There were a few of those bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, you got the older guys in the old guard, such as myself. And I mean, we're at the Brass Mug and the Orpheum and Pegasus and things like that, like a lot of, for the death metal shows and things. But yeah, some of these younger bands we played with, I mean, they really have taken to the black metal.
All right, that's cool. Keeps the scene alive.
Yeah,
it does very much so.
This is all kind of I never really got so much into the hardcore bands, let's say, but I went to the Abbey in Orlando with Bill. He took me, and I'm very glad I went. I got to see Castrator, Immolation, Cattle Decapitation, and man, it was an eye opener. It was just and then listening to your new album, or the album there, it was just, I have a different appreciation for it all now, very much so.
That's cool.
I wanted to ask you, I've talked to bands in the Houston area like Hellstar, and they all kind of intermingle bands. Chicago with the Skull and Trouble, and these guys. Is it kind of, do you have people in the Tampa area that you go and jam this? You're not leaving your band, but you got maybe another band with this guy and the two guys from this band. Do a lot of the players over there intermingle with each other?
Not so much, not the ones that I know of. I mean, we ourselves, I mean, I did a short stint in a kind of a power metal group. They needed a second guitar player for some shows, called Jetter. I did that briefly, but, yeah. I mean, not really so much. Ourselves, I mean, we're incredibly busy with what we got in front of us, that none of us really have time to really take on anything else.
You mentioned Jetter, Bill. When we went down to West Palm there, Was that not one of the bands that played?
They were. We missed them though. We did
Okay.
miss them.
I remember seeing the bus that said Jetter on it. Unfortunately, we got down there late. That was for Titanium, Tart, Nico, McBrain's little
Oh yeah, yeah.
warm-up band, side project band. They were good. But I remember seeing Jetter on the bus that day. So that's pretty cool. Again,
Yeah, they must be doing all right if they have their own bus.
yeah, right.
Well, yeah. Well, I won't divulge any of that. That I'll let. I know the reason why it's there, but I'll let that go.
It's all good.
It's not my place to say anything.
Well, Bill, you like you said, you spent a lot of time in the Tampa area. What do you see? Where do you see the scene heading? I mean, when we saw that show at the Abbey, it was sold out, which is a great thing for everybody. Good for the bands, good for the promoter, good for the club. Are you seeing when you're playing these shows? How are the crowds?
Pretty good. I mean, we just did a one-off Halloween show. Like we've been mostly really busy with the album, so we really haven't really been out playing, and we look to do so as soon as it's done by the fall, and really tour hard for the next 3 years. But yeah, I mean, our Halloween show, I mean, it was really well attended. A bit over 50% capacity at the Brass Mug, which is pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, I some of the other times where I've gone to the local shows, it's gotten a lot better. I mean, soon after Bill, moved like in 2003, I mean, the scene really kind of hit a lull where, I mean, there'd be some really good bands, playing, and there'd be only, basically their girlfriends would be the only ones coming, but now you see, I would say a much better improved attendance, even for an all local show than it used to be.
I've never been. I've heard of the Brass Mug 100,000 times and all the bands that come there. Billy, did you ever get a chance to play there?
Yes, but it's changed locations like 3 times since the original where I
used it's on its third one. Yeah.
Man, that place, it was a true dive bar. Your feet would stick to the floor.
And the new location, I think it's been there for almost about 10 years in its new location.
Yeah.
And the floor is about the same.
All right. Well,
but I mean, it's a bigger venue and the stage is bigger, and
that's what I've seen videos and it looks much bigger. So that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. They got a backstage there now, so it's cool.
There was none of that back in the day.
No. I played my share of the ones on Fletcher Avenue. I know.
Okay, you've been there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I played my first show. Was the one on Fletcher Avenue. So
cool.
That was the Brass Mug that was on Fletcher Avenue.
You're talking about? That was the original location. It was there forever.
Your first show with Blood of Angels, or your first show with just playing?
My first show just playing. Was at that original location.
What band were you in at the time?
Black Zodiac.
And how was that? Was that your first band, or you're kind of somewhere in the middle of your bands there?
Let's see, where was it? Let's see. I had the cover band. It was my third band.
Cool. And death metal, of course, in that realm.
Yeah. And we had a female vocalist at the time. This is like 2000, 2001. So, I mean, we had a female vocalist at the time when that was, doing that guttural style when it was really unheard of at the moment. So,
I might have even saw you guys. I have a pretty poor memory from that era, because we used to remember, I don't know if you remember, they used to have like $3 pitchers on certain nights. So,
yes. DBRs, I think it's still $1.
Really? All right.
You still get a DBR tall boy for $1. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. We used to down a lot of the cheap beers, and they come in. The free cigarette people would come in and give away smokes. I'm sure they don't do that anymore.
I haven't seen it that much, but every once in a while you get the Captain Morgan promo crew that comes in.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Some swag for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about the female singers, and I tell you, the band Castrator, unfortunately, one of the guitar players, it's an all-female band. Unfortunately, one of the guitar players had some problems, had to jump off the tour, but that singer just blew me away. That was the opening band that night, and after they got done playing, I was like, Jesus, Billy, this is awesome.
She was brutal.
Getting it on. All the women, the drummer,
Yep.
Of course, our friend Robin. It just
Yeah, check them out if you can. They're pretty sick. They're
Almost
Robin.
definitely.
What's that?
Most definitely, yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
great band. We're going to roll into this little segment. I like to call it the rapid fire. It's just 3 questions. You don't have to get too detailed in it all if you don't want to. The first one was, who made you want to pick up a guitar and just shred some sick fucking music? Who were
Randy
your
Rhoads.
influencer? There you go.
Nice.
Randy Rhoads.
Man,
Yeah. Oh, well, it's rapid fire, so
well, no. What? Let's say, what was it about him? What was about his playing? The difference of it all, because a lot of people were Eddie Van Halen or Randy Rhoads, and the line was drawn back in the day. So, what made you flip onto the Randy side of the fence?
I think for those of us that are of a particular age, I think the line is still there. No, it was I mean, my dad was a rock metal fan. I mean, he was a fan of Sabbath and Blue Oyster Cult and Zeppelin, and a lot of the heavier bands of the '70s. And as music and always loved Ozzy, and as music got heavier, so did, my dad did too. He's the one who showed me Metallica Ride the Lightning. When I was a kid, but yeah, it's just when my dad came home, he bought the Randy Rhoads tribute album. I mean, I've listened to it before the recordings, but when I heard it live in that live recording, I was mesmerized, as a young 10-year-old, and this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that. And yeah, to me, there's a poetry and a passion and a creativity and and a feeling and a blend of when he plays that I just think that we have never seen since.
Right. It's a shame. Could you imagine what he'd be doing now? It'd be out of hand. Have you seen the video, the only live video of him playing up in Channel 31 Studios in Rochester, New York? I'm sure you have the video of Randy Rhoads.
Honestly, I have not seen it. I mean, I saw a recent documentary that came out. Mostly it was focusing on his Quiet Riot days. I mean, and some of the footage from that. But I haven't seen that video.
They played, I think, Bill, what, 3 songs?
Yeah, it was I think it was 3 tunes. It's the only true live footage of him, like real professional footage. You should check that out. It's killer.
One of the best things is he's got the white anniversary Marshall stacks up behind him at
Oh,
the time.
yeah.
Right. It's some cool shit. But it was shot. Our headquarters are up in Rochester, New York, and so anything Rochester, we like to brag about it. We're proud of our metal in the Rochester area, even though me and Bill are both down here in Florida, living over in Melbourne here. So
yeah.
It's just
I love the Montage Music Hall. I mean, that's a great venue up there.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice. Yep, that's a good joint.
Great. Yeah, I've had a couple of good times playing up there.
That's cool.
Very good.
All right. What other occupation besides music would you ever thought about or wanted to endeavor in?
Well, I mean, I guess something else that I did, and I actually enjoyed doing it. I mean, CDL truck driver. I mean, I've done that and enjoyed just driving in the open road. I mean, when we go on tour, I'm the one who drives the van. So yeah,
right.
I just love that. I just love doing that. I mean, but creativity. If I had the ability, I mean, I would have loved to have tried really gotten into the acting, but I just don't have. I just don't really have the gift or the patience to be on a movie set.
So it takes a lot of patience to sit behind a wheel. Were you a long hauler or just a local hauler?
I did long hauling for a while, mostly just regional in the southeast of the flatbed, and then I was local for 8 years with a plumbing supply company.
Cool. All right. When you're driving around, let's say you're heading down to Ybor City, or you're crossing the bridge 275, heading into St. Pete's, just driving around town. What's on your playlist? What are you listening to?
Motorhead lately.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. I just basically been putting on Spotify, hitting my Motorhead playlist, and just on random shuffle. It's just where my headspace has been lately.
That's cool. Some Motorhead. Everybody can appreciate some of that for sure.
Yeah, I've been a fan for a long time, and and I think all the entire metal community misses Lemmy, and we're all sad that he's no longer on this earth. Yeah.
Well, Bill, do you have any further questions you'd like to ask Aaron before we let him go here?
No, I don't have anything to ask. Just that's great that you're going strong in Tampa, and keep raging the metal, brother.
Thank you so much, man.
Go Bucks too.
Oh yeah, playoffs. Yeah, we got the Eagles coming to town.
Oh man,
we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Well, we got you. Me and Bill, we've been known to talk about hitting some gigs up over in Tampa. So if we're ever over in that area, we definitely like to try to look you up and just to say hello. And we always like to meet and greet if we can anybody that we happen to chat to. So tell us about your media outlets and where we can find out all about the Blood of Angels.
Oh yeah, you can check out our website, bloodofangels.net, and pretty much it has a lot of things. It has our online merch store. All our YouTube videos are connected there. You can check that all out. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com Blood of Angels 1, Instagram handle Blood of Angels, and YouTube Blood of Angels, and also on X, I guess that's what it's called now, Blood of Angels 1.
Awesome. All right, well, Bill, I'd like to thank you for joining me, being my wingman as all things in metal, which I love that. Mm-hmm. Aaron, it was a pleasure talking to you tonight, and I just want to say thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me on, and it was great.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Hey, for Metal Mayhem ROC, I'm Southern Cal.
Metal for life.
Thank you for listening to Metal Mayhem ROC. Check out our website at metalmayhemroc.com for information on podcasts, archives, links to all our live radio shows, and all sorts of info. Please like, follow, and share with everyone, even your non-metal friends. And always remember to keep it heavy.